I'm Judy, the organizer and creator of Rescue My Space. Welcome back, and if you're new, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how to organize your fridge. I'm going to show you how I organize my fridge by using items or reusing items that I already have, as well as using items that I purchased from the store. Fridge are one of the most important items in our homes, and we need to take care of it. It helps our foods last longer, as well as keep the nutrients in our foods so that we can in turn add nutrition to our bodies. Our fridge is like our hearts. Sometimes we neglect it and let toxins inside of it. And sometimes we forget that if we just keep it clean and free of all the bad stuff, it will work for us. It will help us in the future. Okay, that probably makes no sense, but our fridge is like our heart. It's one of the most important items in our homes, and if we neglect it, it will mess up and our foods will suffer. Therefore, we will suffer, and that's not what we want. So I'm gonna show you how I keep my fridge organized and how you can keep your fridge organized moving forward. Are you ready to take your fridge from this to this? So if you're ready to create order in your fridge as well as save time and money, stay tuned. So first we're going to start with the top shelf. This is the area that houses all your tall items. As you can see, I used a clear container to house my bottles of water. I was actually able to scoop these containers up at Ross. This is also the best area to keep your milk. Just be sure that it's towards the back of the fridge where it's the coldest. It's also ideal to keep your eggs on this shelf rather than in the door. This amazing cleansing water not only helps me detox my body in the morning, it also tastes great. These are the ingredients that I include in this water, and I consume this water every morning. The middle shelf is where I keep my leftovers and my easy to grab items. I'm also using a clear container to store these items. Towards the back of the shelves, I like to store my applesauce, which I use for baking. Because I don't bake as often, I like to store it towards the back so it can stay as cold and as fresh as possible. The glass jars that are in the clear container were purchased from Hobby Lobby. As I mentioned, I keep my leftovers in the middle shelf. As you can see, this quinoa is being stored in an old spaghetti jar, which I reused. I just removed the label and put my own label on it. The jars that I used for my fruits originally came from a vegan mayonnaise that I use. What I've noticed is the best containers or jars that I come across usually come from things that I already have in my house. These are just more leftovers that I have, which will be eaten this week. Remember, the middle shelf is great to store any items that don't need to be kept, especially cold. So items like baby food, sauces, even pizza are great for this section. So now we're getting into the meat drawer. Though meat is better stored on the bottom shelf, in my case, I keep my faux meat in this drawer. So if it's not open, I keep my tofu in its original container. But once it's open, I keep the remaining tofu in a jar. I also keep my avocados in this drawer to help prevent them from ripening quickly. Now we're on to eggs. This is the shelf where I keep the eggs. As I mentioned before, eggs are properly stored on the top shelf, but in this case, I found it easier to store them on this shelf. One great tip for eggs is always know that the date on the eggs is a sell-by date, so the eggs are still good to eat 3 weeks after this date. To be sure that my chopped vegetables and fruits remain fresh as possible, I keep them in these containers. I purchased these containers from Hobby Lobby as well. Here I have my lettuce, my kale, and my 2 spinach in the back. Just be sure after you wash your vegetables and fruit that you make sure they dry completely. This prevents them from going bad quickly. I also keep my wine in the back of the fridge on this shelf so that it can remain chilled. Here in my crisper drawer or in my fruit drawer is where I keep my whole fruits. I have my bananas, apples, and oranges on the left side and my limes, lemons, and grapes on the right side. Right below this drawer is another crisper drawer, which I've designated for my vegetables. Here is where I keep my peppers, my carrots, my cucumbers, whole lettuce, tomatoes, jalapenos, and cilantro. I'll be cutting up this head of lettuce very soon. Now let's focus on the doors. On the top shelf on the door is where I keep all my condiments. This is where I keep my barbecue sauces, sriracha, one of my favorites. This is where I keep my vegan mayo, mustards, and the big dog ketchup. On the second shelf, under the top shelf, is where I keep all my sauces, which includes minced garlic, soy sauce, cocktail sauce, and many others. Because this is the warmest part of your fridge, it's important that you keep long shelf-like items like condiments and soft drinks in this area. On the shelf underneath is where I keep my jellies and my syrup. I also keep my tortillas here because it's easily accessible. Under that is where I keep other sauces that don't really have a category. And on the other side of that is where I keep my chlorophyll and aloe vera gel. Both items must be in the refrigerator at all times. And finally, underneath that shelf is where we keep juice for our drinks and extra sodas for guests. Oh, Pepsi. Make sure you go through this area regularly and toss out anything that's either expired or mostly used. If this video helped you get motivated to organize your refrigerator, please let me know in the comment section below. As I mentioned before, I did create a refrigerator chart that can help you get your refrigerator in order. I created a blog post just for this video, and the link is below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so very much for watching. And as always, I'll see you next week. Bye.